What's up, guys? I'm Chris,
And I'm Penelope.
and this is Beyond the Scoreboard podcast.
Today we're going to have on Coach Carr to introduce the baseball season.
Later on, we're going to have some soccer guys on to talk about soccer and talk about where the season is going to end up at. So stay tuned and grab something to eat.
Stretch out, big bands, whoa, whoa. Flex up, stretch out, big bands, whoa, whoa. Flex up, stretch out, big bands, whoa, whoa. Flex up, stretch out, big bands, whoa, whoa. Flex up.
Hey everyone, this is Coach Carr, and today we're going to be asking some questions about this following baseball year. How long have you been involved in the baseball world?
So I grew up with it my whole life, played since honestly I was 2 or 3 years old, and then played through junior college, and then started coaching after I graduated college from Ole Miss, and then so this is my 8th year working in public school doing baseball.
Wow, that is a lot of baseball. So what inspired your passion for baseball growing up?
I think honestly just kind of was one of the first sports that I kind of saw as a kid. And then the Atlanta Braves were always on TV, and so when I was a kid that's kind of what was on, and my dad kind of introduced it to me, and then we start throwing in the yard, kind of how any kid starts to fall in love with a sport, and then it kind of went from there, and once I started playing Little League, it just kind of took off. Okay,
so would you say your dad was the one who inspired you to start
this? I
would
probably say so, just because I can remember growing up always watching the Braves with him, and that was kind of a childhood memory for me. And then as I got older, like I said, just different people have influenced me along the way to kind of, keep that passion as well.
That's sweet. And what high school and college did you play at?
So I went to South Panola High School and graduated there in 2013. And then I played junior college baseball at Jones College in Ellisville. Okay. So I did that for 2 years.
Yeah, I have a friend who goes to Jones College. That's cool. What are some things that led you from being a baseball player to a coach?
I think it just started with, you always have people who influence you along the way. Like a lot of people who get into coaching, when they were players, somebody, touched them and made them feel appreciated about what they were doing. And then, that kind of leads to down the road wanting to be a coach and get involved in it. I've always enjoyed just like the X's and O's and all the actual baseball stuff. But I think it came from one of my high school coaches just growing up. Kind of influenced me in a special way, and you build those relationships, and then they're kind of like a second father figure to you or a mentor, and then once you go into that world, those people that were your mentors kind of help you land jobs and do those things too. So, and then I've actually Coach Sandroni, who's here, he's one of our assistants. It's kind of funny. I coached him 8 years ago when he was a senior in high school. So he was, 17, 18 years old. And then I coached him, and it was, he was like, I'm thinking about getting into coaching when I get through with college. And I said, well, it's funny because one day I'll try to hire you. Aww. And then it ended up, 7 years later, it ended up happening. So, I think it's one of those things where somebody influences you, and then you turn around and influence them, and then it just keeps going and going. And that's how, good people, I think, stay in the business too.
That's sweet. I love that. It's kind of full circle a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you coached anywhere other than Hernando?
So, yes. This was my first head coaching job, but I started at Tupelo. I was there for 2 years, and then I went to Clinton and past Christian, which is at the beach, and then came back and coached at Lafayette in Oxford for 2 years, and then now I'm here. Okay. So I've been all around, but this is my first head coaching job. I was an assistant for, in all those stops.
Yeah, bet you missed the beach a little bit.
A little bit. The beach is fun. I think I miss the weather, even though my friends from down there were sending me, pictures. They got 9 inches of snow, and it's like the first time that's ever happened there in 50, 60, 70 years. So.
Jeez, I grew up in Virginia, so it snowed there all the time.
So do you think it's funny when people freak out over the snow here and buy all the bread and the milk?
Yes.
Every single time?
Every single time. Because my freshman year, when I moved here, it literally flurried, and we didn't have school. And I was like, there's no snow on the ground.
Yeah, people that move here, they probably think that we're crazy for how we take our take our snow days.
Yeah, but you think about it, they don't have all the salt and the snow
Yeah, that's
plows
true.
like everywhere else. Yeah. So as a coach at Hernando, what are some teams that you would consider competition for the Tigers?
Well, I definitely think, the teams in our county are all really good. I mean, everybody knows the love-hate relationship I think we have with Lewisburg, and
Yes.
while we play against each other and we have different uniforms on, all those kids like play summer ball together. They've grown up together, so they're quality competition. They always have been. DeSoto Central is really good again this year. They have a lot of people coming back. And then Oxford's going to be really good once again. So anybody that we play really is going to be good competition. But those are our teams in our division and stuff. So
Yeah.
they're all really good. They're all really talented in their own ways.
Well, we love to hear that, but maybe that's a little bit of a difficult situation for us. So what are things that you as the coach are doing to prepare the team for this season and those competitive teams?
Yeah, so it started obviously back in the off season in August when we came back to school. We just started really going through our off season program and slowly trying to get guys that we're trying to get them better, and then now we've kind of transitioned. Obviously, we go into after school now, so our practice kind of changes from just fully developing to like, okay, this is how we do it in a team setting and all of that. So it's just kind of changed. It just shifts from focusing maybe on your individual development to kind of how it looks collectively as a team. And so I feel prepared. I think that we have a really good shot to be successful again. We kind of set the bar really high last year because we went all the way to the finals, and so now everybody's expecting that again, and we want that. That's our expectation. We don't, we're not going to shy away from that because we want to be the premier program in the area, and then obviously across the state. So I feel good. I think our kids feel good for sure. They feel excited, and we're just ready. I think we're ready to the point where we just want to start playing.
Yeah, I bet you feel like practice all year up into this. It's
Yeah,
like you're
up
on
until
the
now.
brink of it. You're ready to start.
Yep.
I'm sure that individual help as well as the team help did a lot. So what are some star players you would say we should keep our eyes out for this season?
I think we've got a few guys across the board from some seniors down to some freshmen. Luke Romine, everybody knows who he is, and I'm glad he's on my team and I don't have to coach against him. And I feel that way about a lot of our guys. I'm like, man, I'm so glad I don't have to see that guy in a different uniform. But Luke is really talented. Preston Johnson, Connor Young. Those are just some names in that senior group that are really important to us. And then you kind of go down. There's some younger guys too that I think are going to get some opportunities. Brandon Overstreet, Donovan Dixon, Axton Westmoreland. Those are some younger guys that we think could be really successful for us this year. They've had really good falls. They've developed. They don't look like little. I always say they don't look like little kids anymore. The difference between them as a freshman and a sophomore is a big difference. And then Cade Koska is another one. He's a junior. He'll help us on the mound and he'll help us at the plate as well. He's kind of stepped into that role that some of those seniors have left that are now freshmen in college because we were really talented last year, but we're really talented this year too. And those are just some off the top of my head. I mean, I could literally sit here for an hour and name all of our
Just
kids.
the whole roster.
Yeah,
They're all
like
talented.
it's a hard. I always tell people it's really hard to play here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of baseball talent in these halls, and so anybody that's on the team is talented in their own way for sure.
Yes. Well, I love to hear that because I do a lot of interviews and senior highlights, so that's something I look forward to is hearing those star players that I can reach out to. So what are some things that you feel are the key to those players' success that they really strive for, you think that other people could look to do?
Yeah, I think number one is they take ownership of their development. They know that it's not like a little magic potion that somebody can just drink and take. It takes a lot of hard work, and I know that people hear that all the time and they almost roll their eyes at it because that's kind of cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it is what it is. You don't reinvent the wheel. You put in this time and this effort and this focus of what you want to do. You can make it happen, and they've done that. And all of those guys have. We have as a team collectively. We've taken the strides in how important each day is because it can be a random Tuesday in October or September where you don't really want to be there. And your mind's straying away from what you want to do, but you snap your fingers and it's February, which it's almost here now, and people just I think, and I try to tell our younger guys this, and to latch on to some of those older guys because they've been here, they understand what it takes, and they understand it is not just let me flex my muscles and see how hard I can work. It's the mental day in, day out focus that pushes the kids, I think, to that next level, and you see that in their development. I think so, at least. They
say the biggest battlefield is the mind, and I think with sports, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a lot mental block before it is physical.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel like you've done to inspire that sort of hardworking, trait in some of your younger players? Do you just feel like you just kind of push them, inspire them?
Yeah, I think, people always want to talk about the buzzword is culture in today's coaching world. Everybody wants to talk about how great their culture is and what that means, and they almost overkill it. I think the biggest thing is for me, they need to see that every day that, number one, I'm present, and not just physically, but like I'm motivated to be there. I'm happy to be there. Whatever's going on in my day that maybe was a negative, drop that at the door, because, the most important thing is the next 90 minutes that we're together.
Yeah.
And they see that, and I think that, being there each day, day in, day out, even when it's not the easiest thing to do, they see that role model of consistency.
Yes.
And I think for a high school athlete in our program, consistency is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest factors, is just being there each day. And like I said, having that focus and energy. And I'm always, I have two wonderful assistants who also help us with that, Coach Smith and Coach Sandroni. I don't like to not mention them because they're just as important as I am. They wouldn't be here otherwise. And then, being role models of consistency and then of intensity. We want to show them that, hey, we're not just here to get a paycheck, or we're not just here to because somebody's forcing us. Like we want to be here.
You actually care.
And they see that, and then that's a reflection on, okay, if my coaching staff and these people care about me and they're guiding me in this way, then it's up to me at this point to take that and learn from it. And all people always say, kids and dogs can always tell lies. They can tell when you're not telling the truth, and they always know. And a kid's gonna know, I think, if you're surface level, if you're just there to be there. Like if something's like, they can sense it before most people can.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to show them, like, hey, like no matter what's going on in my life, what season I'm in, I'm here, and this is a place for you to see a model of consistency, and then take that and do it themselves. And I think once you get to that point, and I think we've done that really quick in our work here, is show them that culture doesn't have to be. I think culture doesn't necessarily have to be talked about. It's lived out.
Right.
Yes. And we don't talk a ton about it. We don't talk about all of these traits and things. We kind of just do it and we show it. And I think showing it, and I think showing it to them has been the biggest difference, and you can kind of see it trickle down through our program.
I really like that perspective you have, where it's more of like, instead of like just hounding on them, you're like, I care, and then that kind of pushes them to want to do better.
Right.
I work at Chick-fil-A, and culture is like a huge thing there. They are big about how you treat each other. And whenever you're just kind to one another, it inspires everyone to want to be better.
Absolutely.
It can definitely be difficult sometimes, but it is definitely doable. And being that big role model as a coach that you are here at the high school for some of our students and players, before we end your segment, what is a piece of advice that has stuck with you, and what does that mean to you?
Oh man, advice. I feel like sometimes I'm not the best to give advice because I need to do a better job of receiving it. But I would just, for our kids, and I think I kind of answered it in the last question.
Yeah.
Is that you're always going to remember the people that you're around. The moments and the games, and yes, they're important, and we want to win, and we want to be the best. We want to put we talk about it all the time, winning championships, and how important that would be for this place and for this community to do that. But at the end of the day, you're going to remember the people that you're around more so than the moments and the games and stuff that you were in with them.
Yeah.
And so those people are always going to have a lasting effect on you, positively and negatively. And I think remembering that, and it's like you said, treating them with the respect and the kindness and the love that sometimes isn't easy. Tough love is a real thing. But treating your teammates and your classmates with that respect and understanding that, hey, you don't know what they're going through. They don't know what you're going through. And, sometimes we don't share things with each other, but that doesn't mean that you always have to go into it with this mindfulness of, okay, I don't know what this person's going through, but how can I positively impact their day?
Right.
And I think that, we try to teach our kids that in our program. We try to teach them that, when you leave here 5 years from now, what was the legacy and the impact that you're going to leave for the people that you're leaving behind?
Right.
Because when you leave high school, some people stay closer to high school people. Like I think I graduated with 250 people, and there's probably 4 of them that I talk to regularly.
Right.
And with that, people are going to remember, that impact, and you might not see them again after you leave here. And so wanting to leave that impact of positivity and love and kindness, I think, goes well beyond something that you can tell people from a skill standpoint or from a, how much better can I be at this?
Right. It's kind of that intentional friendship, intentional kindness.
Being intentional, I think that's kind of a good way to put it, is being intentional with the people that you're around.
I think that's right. Intentionality is a huge thing, especially for me. I think of that because my mom always raised me with the whole, just because you didn't mean to make somebody feel that way or you didn't mean to do that doesn't mean you didn't.
Yeah.
So kind of having that mindfulness is really important. I think that's all we have for you today. This is Coach Carr on the coming baseball season. And now on to the soccer players.
All right, I'm here with some soccer guys. Can y'all say y'all's names?
Wilson Crane.
Knox Norris.
All right, thank y'all for coming out. I just want to talk to y'all. Y'all season is going on, and y'all just came off that win with DC, 5-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're a captain, right? As a captain of the team, how do you lead the team, and I guess not just on the field but also off the field?
I would say the big thing is like Connor said this in his post-game interview. You just got to try to keep everyone's heads up and just keep the morale in the locker room and on the field at a good level. And then off the field is kind of the same thing. I mean, we just all try to connect with each other and actually form a relationship that's not just on the field but also off the field, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, I guess your relationship off the field really helps y'all within games. Y'all can communicate better and I guess build that bond that really helps y'all take it to new heights.
Definitely.
I guess. Yeah. What grade are you in again?
I'm a freshman.
As a freshman of the team, what is something that you didn't really expect about the team that you came in and you're like, oh, this is what we're doing now? Or
Probably the conditioning. I mean, we do a lot of conditioning.
Yeah, what's the...
And probably just the coaching. I mean, Hogan's really hard on you if you don't listen to him. So, really just that.
Hey, but y'all win games. Coming off that win last year from state, how are you feeling this year?
Well, I mean, this year we know that we're going to get everybody's best and everybody has a chip on their shoulder when they want to play us. And I feel like, I mean, so far we've done a really good job at dealing with that and keeping winning.
Yeah, I heard there was a rivalry between y'all and Oxford. You explain a little bit of that, bro?
Yeah, so I mean, we've never liked Oxford, and then last year, we beat them at home. We went there in the district championship and lost, and then for North Half, we had I think almost 400 people there. I mean, and that was probably one of the most fun games I've ever played in my life. And then it carried on to baseball season. So I mean, this year we're not fans of the Oxford Chargers.
Yeah, I bet y'all aren't. As a freshman, what's one thing that you're looking forward to this season? I guess playing wise.
Probably just going to state, because I was in the stands last year watching, and I didn't really get to experience any of it. Yeah. And it was fun watching, and it's more fun being on the sidelines.
So state, y'all get rings and all that?
Mm-hmm. Rings and medals in the trophy.
Oh yeah. I guess my next question is, what's one way that your coach pushes you to be better players on and off the field?
Well, for me, my experience is different from all of them because Coach was a goalie when he played. So, I mean, he's got me like 10 times better than I was when he came in. But if you screw up, he lets you know. He lets you know in a pretty fun way.
Yeah, I've heard him a couple times. As a freshman on the soccer team, what are some ways that the upperclassmen have helped you out, like, I guess, game-wise?
Well, a lot of them give you a lot of advice. Like Crane will give you advice a lot of the times. Danny, they're just more experienced than all the younger guys, and they've done it before. So it's just another voice.
Are you like thinking about continuing? You know,
I'm
after,
not. I'm not. I decided not to play in college.
So like, what are you doing?
I'm going to Ole Miss next year.
Oh yeah, me too, man. Yeah. As a captain, what are some skills that you think a captain should have? I guess leadership wise.
I feel like a captain should have a good relationship with all of his players, and also be able to just be able to speak up and like take control, but not like a mean way. Like actually connect and get his players where they need to be.
I feel like a lot of times captains aren't just like the head of the team, but like also the heart of the team. Mm-hmm. They hold it together. Like if two like underclassmen may have a disagreement or something, the captain should be the one to like step in and like be like, hey guys, this ain't what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it this way, but not in like a mean way. More like a way like you're helping them, almost like kind of like a brotherhood.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. What was it like winning state last year?
It was surreal.
Oh
yeah. That team. I mean, beginning of the year, we knew we definitely had it. We had it. We started off 15-0, and then we lose 3 games to end the season, and then we come out in playoffs. We beat Starkville at home, and then we went to Clinton. And Clinton was the back-to-back state champion. I mean, I think their whole starting 11, and then half the players from the bench, they went to play college soccer last year. They were all seniors, and that winning that game was surreal. And after that, we kept that momentum. I mean, it was probably we played I think 5 games in 11 days, and it was an experience.
Yo, what's the reason like you guys got into soccer and playing soccer? I guess.
For me, it was I think when I was 6 years old. I went down to my grandmother's house with all my cousins, and we did like a little soccer camp.
For me, I've played ever since I was born. My sister's in college right now playing, and she's like 5 years older than me, so I've just always played since I was a little kid.
You think your sister like inspires you to play soccer? As well,
she's definitely the reason I got into it, for sure.
Yeah, that's great, man. I think that a lot of times, like I guess your family is like a lot of like your main motivation for doing the things that you do. Mm-hmm. Like that's positive or negative, you know. Like I think my family really inspired me to like want to work hard. My dad, he came from like almost nothing and he worked his way up. I feel like that's one thing that family should always do. Inspire the younger generations to go further than they did, you know. You know, as a senior, what kind of legacy you think you'll leave at the school for seasons to come?
I feel like the legacy I want to live. I mean, I know I've won. I have some accolades, but I mean, I don't really care about the success. I just want to leave the legacy that what you do off the field is just as important as what you do on the field.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. Yo, what's the best memory that y'all have of like the soccer team? I guess this far.
This season?
Yeah, like.
This season, I would say the bus rides are like in the locker room before the games.
Yeah, what was that like, man?
It's fun.
Oh yeah, I bet. Well, I thank y'all for coming out.
Of course, thank you.
That's it for this part of the podcast. Come watch their game Saturday, right?
12 o'clock, Horn Lake.
All right, see you there. All right, that's all for today's podcast.
Make sure to check out our socials. They'll be in the description. I'm Penelope.
And I'm Chris.
And that's all for the
Beyond the Scoreboard podcast.